Quasi is the latest film from the comedy group Broken Lizard on Hulu. Let's see if this new film is worth your time. Hey everybody, my name is Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services like Hulu. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. A hapless hunchback yearns for love but finds himself in the middle of a deadly feud between the Pope and the King of France when they each order the misfit to kill the other. I enjoy the comedy group Broken Lizard. I watched a lot of their films growing up in middle school. Beer Fest, Club Dread, and Super Troopers. I had those films on constantly. More Beer Fest than any other film, but going into Quasi, I was really excited because I do feel like this comedy group has really good chemistry. They've been working with each other for many years, and so they have that natural chemistry within this film and all their other films as well. The problem with Quasi is that all of the other films serve as a group film. Each character is involved. Each character is not like the main character of that film. And Quasi, on the other hand, there is a main character. Quasi is played by Steve Lemmy, and that leads for the other four members of the group to not have the most significant storyline. And some of them have better storylines than the others, but when you look at how the other films are, Club Dread and Beer Fest, they're all working as a group. Here, it's just centered around one character, and everybody is in the background. And that's disappointing because I do like each member of Broken Lizard, from Kevin Heffernan and Eric Stolhowski, Paul Soter, and Jay Chandrasekhar. And Brian Cox narrates this film. I feel like the other members of the group don't have the most amount to do in here, and I would like to see them interact more because the jokes are few and far between. And when we do get the jokes, they do land. And you see that genuine connection that this group has, that chemistry. And when the jokes do land, they are pretty funny. But I feel like they are few and far between because of them not interacting with each other as much. Because we have Quasi, who's fallen in love, and he's put in between the Pope and this king. Each one of them wants Quasi to kill the other person. We have this character development, the story that's growing for Quasi, and at times I found it to be interesting, but also at times I found it to be rather slow, and I just wish they would have interacted more with each other. The way that Quasi speaks, and I listened to an interview with one of the members of this film, it's based on someone that they knew at a record store, but he has his lips to the side, and the way that he talks, it's very much like Little Nicky, and I could not get that out of my head. And at times I found it to be funny. At times I found it just to be kind of old. Kind of how I felt about Little Nicky. It worked for a little bit, and then it did not work. So Quasi, the character played by Steve Lemmy, I think that was a pretty interesting character for him. And this is one of actually their first scripts that they've had. They were just waiting for the right studio to make this film in Fox Searchlight, and they thought that their period piece fit alongside the films that they do. But the look of the film, from the costume designs and the set locations and everything involved in here, is pretty good. And there's a lot of effort going into this movie. I just wish it was more of a group film, not a solo film for Quasi, because there are a couple characters in here that play multiple characters, and they're trying to get that screen time in, and you just feel their absence. Out of all five of them, Paul Soter is the one I feel like had the least amount of screen time, but I did like seeing them interact with each other, and you see that chemistry that they had with each other, and also having members from Tacoma FD, the show that they have in here, it made appearances as well. I've seen that show a few times, and I did recognize some of the actors and actresses from that show within this film. But overall, Quasi, it's not that bad. It's not the best Broken Lizard film. It is directed by Kevin Heffernan, who's directed a few of the other Broken Lizard movies. It's certainly not Super Troopers or Beer Fest or Club Dread. I would put it more towards towards the bottom of their list. I was going to rank their movies. I just did not watch every single one of them again in time for this movie, but I would put it more towards the end. The jokes were few and far between. They did work. I did like the period that this movie was in, and some of the interactions that they had, but I wish there was a little more of that. So before I give you my score for Quasi on Hulu, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button to get it all in one spot. I'm going to go ahead and give Quasi a C+. Thank you guys for checking out my review for Quasi, the new Broken Lizard film on Hulu. Have you guys seen it by chance? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.